Hey everybody, Sean from Movie Assault here, and it's time for this month's pickup video. This is for July 2021, and this time out I've got stuff from Dollar Tree, eBay, Amazon, Walmart, Barnes& Noble, and the buy-sell trade store that I haven't visited in quite a while. So I'll start off with the Dollar Tree stuff. You may have noticed that I did not do a video this month for my Dollar Tree haul. There was a July wave, and I'm going to show you the entirety of it right now because it is 2 Blu-rays. The Dollar Trees in my area either didn't get much or I got there too late to get any of it because there was probably about 30 movies between the 2 stores that I went to, and I just sort of gave up. But I did find these. This is one that I think has been around for a little while. It's called The Domestics, and this stars Kate Bosworth and Tyler Hoechlin. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, I am sorry. This is an apocalyptic science fiction type movie, and I had heard some good things about this from N Horror, so I figured I would take a chance and get that for $1. And then this other one is Nature Calls. And this stars Patton Oswalt, Johnny Knoxville, Rob Riggle, and Patrice O'Neal. I know nothing about it, but I do know that I find Rob Riggle hilarious most of the time, and Patton Oswalt is usually pretty funny, and Johnny Knoxville. So the cast is really what sold me on this, and for $1, what's the risk? All right, next up are my Criterion pickups from Barnes & Noble. Of course, they had the 50% off sale this month on all the Criterion titles. And I picked up quite a few that I've seen, but a few that I haven't. I picked up 6 total. And these are in no particular order, but I did pick up 2 Albert Brooks films, and the first is Lost in America with Albert Brooks and Julie Haggerty. This is a hilarious comedy. I don't know how well it would stand up today. I saw this pretty soon after it came out in, I believe it was 85. And I just found this to be hilariously funny. I haven't seen it in probably about 20 years, so I was really interested in picking this up and adding it to my collection. Because every time I've watched it in the past, I've just really enjoyed it. This is about a couple that they decide to quit their jobs, and basically they take a Winnebago across the United States, and hijinks ensue. But if you know Albert Brooks and his style of humor, you pretty much know what you're getting into. The other Albert Brooks movie that I picked up is a more recent release on Criterion. It's Defending Your Life. This is Albert Brooks' view of what the afterlife might be. This also features Meryl Streep, and Rip Torn and Lee Grant play attorneys in this. Rip Torn is particularly hilarious in this, but this is a really funny film. This has the director-approved stamp on it from Albert Brooks. And Albert Brooks is one of my favorite filmmakers, and he's a pretty decent actor. But he made a lot of really funny movies in the 70s, 80s, and then this one up till 91. And then I don't know if he just stopped trying or just wasn't inspired anymore, but the last movie of his that I saw, which was Looking for Comedy in the Muslim World or something to that effect, was really bad. I really did not like that movie. But I do love the prime Albert Brooks stuff. This one is one that it was a total blind buy for me, and I literally bought it on the recommendation of someone in the store browsing Criterions with me, and it is The Sword of Doom from Kenichi Okamoto. This is from 1966. I know that it takes place during the samurai times, but I really don't know anything about it at all. I just bought it because he said it. We had talked a little bit, just random guy that I ran into at the bookstore, and he said this was excellent. So I recommended a few things to him, and we parted ways. But I'm looking forward to checking this out because I'm always interested in taking recommendations. These two I have seen, and both of them I enjoy quite a bit for completely different reasons. This is Ghost Dog from Jim Jarmusch, and I've only seen this movie once, but it really left an impression on me. I really enjoyed it. I saw it shortly after it came out in '99. I believe I rented it on VHS. I don't think I saw it on cable. I think I rented it on VHS, but I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was excellent. By the weight of this, I haven't opened it yet, but it feels like there's some pretty decent material inside here. Of course, it's a Criterion, so it's chock full of special features, but I'm really looking forward to watching this again. Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai. And also picked up Broadcast News. This, of course, is a film by, brain fart, James Brooks. No relation to Albert Brooks. But this features Albert Brooks, so there you go. It also has William Hurt and Holly Hunter. And I remember seeing this actually at the theater that I worked at back in 1989 when this came out, or 1987 when this came out. Sorry. And really, really enjoyed this. I sat down and watched it in bits and pieces and then finally ended up watching it from beginning to end. Just a really interesting look at what goes on kind of behind the scenes at a news organization. But it's also an interesting story about Holly Hunter as a producer on this newscast. It's just, I don't know. I find this kind of story fascinating, and I thought it was a really well-made movie, so I wanted to add it to my collection. And then I had to pick this one up. This is an all-time classic, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Of course, this was directed and written by Cameron Crowe. I'm sorry, I take that back. It was directed by Amy Heckerling and written by Cameron Crowe. From 1982, just a nostalgic classic for me. Just a lot of good memories watching this movie. Of course, it inspired so many teen comedies from the 80s, but the cast is fantastic. Phoebe Cates, Judge Reinhold, Forrest Whitaker, Anthony Edwards, Eric Stoltz, Sean Penn, Jennifer Jason Leigh. Just a really, really, really good movie. Funny. And then next up, I've got my eBay pickups. A lot of these are re-additions to my collection. I had them in my collection before and just realized I did not get one of these at eBay, so I've got 3 movies. First up is Flight, starring Denzel Washington. I really enjoyed this when I saw it probably about 10 years ago, and wanted to add it back to my collection. The performance by Denzel in this is just amazing, and it's a really interesting story about an airline pilot struggling with alcoholism. I don't know what else to say about it other than it's a really damn good movie. Not necessarily a damn good movie, but an enjoyable movie that I'm adding back to my collection is Cowboys and Aliens, starring Harrison Ford and Daniel Craig. Who else is in this? This is a pretty decent cast. Yeah, Olivia Wilde, Sam Rockwell, Paul Dano. Yeah, this is a fun movie. It's a little bizarre. It was directed by Jon Favreau, who of course did Iron Man and has been not wholly responsible, but a big part of the reason that The Mandalorian was so successful. And this is the extended version. It also includes the theatrical version. I don't believe I watched the extended version when I had this before, so I'm interested in checking that out. And also adding back to my collection, Gravity, starring George Clooney and Sandra Bullock. I have not seen this since I saw it in the theater. I traded this in before watching it on Blu-ray when I had it before, but this is the Blu-ray DVD combo. And the digital code came with it, still worked, so I was pretty impressed with that. Even though it supposedly expired in 2016, still worked. So there you go. Gravity. This is a fun movie. Of course, it's a little over the top with some of the space stuff, and I don't know how believable the ending is, but it's a well-made movie and fun to watch. All right, these next few are from Walmart, and I picked up the Open Water 3-film collection that features Open Water 2, Open Water 2, and Open Water 3. I've seen all three of these. Open Water is by far the best of the bunch. Open Water 2 is terrible, but Open Water 3 isn't bad. So I figured I would add these to my collection since I am doing shark flicks this month. But yeah, not much to say about these other than they're decent shark movies, except for Open Water 2, which is awful. Picked up Days of Thunder. I've never seen this. I've seen bits and pieces of it because it did play at my theater back in 1990. But I have not seen it from beginning to end. I do remember enjoying the parts that I saw. I am not a big Tom Cruise fan. But I remember this looking pretty intense, and I don't know what we were watching. Maybe about a month or so ago, a making of Days of Thunder was on TV for some odd reason. So it got me interested in wanting to see it. So I picked it up. Picked this one up. I have not seen this one yet. It is The Girl in the Spider's Web. This, of course, is a sequel to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, but it is not based on one of the original Millennium novels. I believe this is an all-new for the screen story. But this features, of course, Lisbeth Salander, this time played by Claire Foy. So I'm interested in this because the original Swedish trilogy of these films ranks really high, in my opinion. The American remake of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo was entertaining. So I'm not looking setting especially high standards for this one, but I think it should at least be entertaining. Lisbeth Salander is an interesting character. Picked this up. This is actually the last one they had at Walmart, but it is the Saw 8 film collection, and I believe it was only $14. So I really couldn't pass it up. This includes the 7 unrated Saw films plus Jigsaw, and Jigsaw is the only one that is rated. It's rated R. The rest are not. I've only seen the first 2 of these, and I know they get progressively dopier as they go along, but I figured I haven't seen them. I can't really judge them until I see them, so I figured I'd pick them up for a decent price. And I know Saw fans are pretty dedicated people, so I know that I went to Texas Frightmare Weekend back in 2011, and they had some of the cast of Saw there, and the Saw fans were just crazy. They had Saw tattoos and a whole bunch of other stuff. Just crazy. Speaking of crazy, I picked up Howard the Duck. Not 100% sure why I picked this up, but I'm interested in seeing it because I've heard so much about it being terrible, but I have never seen this from beginning to end. This, of course, features Leah Thompson, Jeffrey Jones, and Tim Robbins, and, of course, Howard the Duck. And it was produced by George Lucas, and the visual effects by Industrial Light and Magic. So maybe it'll scratch my 80s itch. I'm not 100% sure, but I guess if you know what you're getting yourself into, this might not be as bad. And then speaking of shark films, I also picked this one up at Walmart. This is the 4-film Shark Collection from Echo Bridge, and this includes Shark Attack, Shark Attack 2, Shark Attack 3 Megalodon, and Shark Zone. And of these, I have only so far seen Shark Attack. Shark Attack 2 is a direct sequel to Shark Attack. Shark Attack 3 has nothing to do with the original first 2 films. But it's interesting to note that this collection is 4 films from this 8-movie collection, literally down to the discs are the same. So if you look, that's the disc art from this. This is a collection that I got at Dollar Tree. And then here is, well, it's one disc because the other one is in my Blu-ray player. but it's the same. It's the same DVD. So literally, Echo Bridge took the DVD part and just cut it in half and sold it. And I didn't realize that until I got home. All right, next up are my Amazon pickups. A lot of weird stuff in this batch. Another re-edition of my collection are the two Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan movies, Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer. Like both of these movies, really had a good time watching these back when they originally came out, and used to watch them on HBO all the time, and really just wanted to add them back to my collection for nostalgia's sake. Also picked up Monster Dog. I have never owned this movie before, but I have seen it before, and I'm a big Alice Cooper fan, so I figured I probably should add it to my collection. He, of course, is in this, but his voice is not. His voice was redubbed by someone else. But this is a delightfully dopey Italian horror movie made in 1984. This was released by Kino Lorber. Claudio Fragasso is, of course, the man who directed Troll 2, so if you know what that was all about, you kind of have an inkling of how good this movie is. Fun, though. Completely on the opposite side of the spectrum is The Pianist, and this is from 2002, I believe. Yep. And this is a movie that has to be seen to be believed, probably best seen with some surround sound on, just for one scene in particular. It won 3 Academy Awards. Adrian Brody is in this, but this, of course, if you're not familiar with this, this is a story of, what is his name? Vladislav Spielman, who was a pianist, classical pianist, and his struggle to stay alive during World War II. And to escape the concentration camps, and he's basically struggling to survive in the Warsaw Ghetto. I won't say anything else about it. It really is a fantastic film, really, really moving. I kind of walked out of the theater when I saw it kind of speechless. This is a movie that I've always counted among one of my favorites of all time. It is not an easy film to recommend because it is not the most uplifting movie in the world, but it is really, really good. Not really, really good is Cruel Jaws. I showed this to you in my Shark Flick series. Told you a little bit about this one. This is a movie that is basically built off the back of other movies, released in some areas as Jaws 5. It literally includes footage from Jaws, The Last Shark, and Deep Blood, along with some footage that was filmed for this. It includes a lot of stock footage and footage from other films to make the sharks look like they're in this movie. Just has to be seen to be believed. I said that multiple times during my Shark Flicks mention of this. For more information, go see Shark Flicks, The New Wave. And I'll put a link to that right there. And then the most recent pickup from Amazon is The Dead Zone. Of course, this is an adaptation of Stephen King's book. And this features Christopher Walken in an amazing performance. This is a really good movie, definitely one of my all-time favorites. This came out in 1983, and I have heard that this Blu-ray version is a massive improvement over the version that was put out by Paramount several years ago. The cast of this is spectacular. Of course, Christopher Walken, but Brooke Adams, Tom Skerritt, Herbert Lom, and Anthony Zerbe. And, of course, Charlie Sheen as well. Or Charlie Sheen, my bad. Martin Sheen and Colleen Dewhurst as well. So this is a really, really good movie. If you've not seen this, definitely check this out. Pick this version up because if you want it on Blu-ray, this is the version to get. All right, the last of these films are the ones I picked up from the local buy-sell trade, and continuing my quest to put together a Liam Neeson collection. I'm not sure why I started to do that, but I am continuing to do that. I picked up A Walk Among the Tombstones. I have not seen this, don't know anything about it. If you've seen it, let me know in the comments below. I mean, you kind of know what you're going to get with Liam Neeson in action movies, but maybe I'm looking for like the physical media equivalent of popcorn, so I can just, or comfort food maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but also picked up Pacific Rim Uprising. This one I have not seen. I did see and enjoy the original Pacific Rim. I know this one is a little bit disappointing as far as what I've heard about it, but I wanted to pick it up just sort of to complete the Pacific Rim collection, but I have not watched it yet. Oh, just realized that's Scott Eastwood in that. Oop. Pick this one up. This one is a film by Edgar Wright that I have not seen. Features Jamie Foxx, Kevin Spacey, John Hamm, Isa Gonzalez, Lily James, and Ansel Elgort, and it is Baby Driver. I've heard nothing but good things about this one. I did have this in my collection a little while ago and traded it in without watching it. So I was really looking forward to this because of Edgar Wright, and I know he usually makes films that I really enjoy, with the exception of Scott Pilgrim. Did not like that movie, but I'm looking forward to watching this one. Also picked up Awakenings with Robert De Niro and Robin Williams. This is a movie that I picked up a lot of movies from 1990 or that thereabouts, but this also played at my theater. Saw it, loved it. Just recommended it to my wife, and I saw it at a decent price at the Buy Sell Trade, so I figured I'd pick it up so we could watch it together. We have not yet, so I'm interested to see how well it holds up. But this was nominated for Best Picture, Best Actor for Robert De Niro, and Best Screenplay. This may have some of the worst cover art I've ever seen, though. Look, I don't know if it'll translate too well, but those pictures of Robert De Niro and Robin Williams are super blurry. I'm not 100% sure why they went with those, but this was put out by Image Entertainment. Picked up Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte in 48 Hours. I have not seen this probably since the 80s, so I was actually looking forward to watching this again. This is a decent movie from what I remember. Always enjoy watching Eddie Murphy, especially in his earlier films. Nick Nolte's usually pretty dependable. But I don't remember a whole lot about this. Directed by Walter Hill. And I'm kind of wondering if it's aged as well as I think it may have or may not have. I'm interested to see if it's aged well. And then last but not least, continuing my Liam Neeson collection, The Grey. This one I've seen. I love this movie. This is an awesome nature thriller. Just a really all-around good movie. If you like action, if you like suspense, if you like a little bit of thriller elements, this is well worth seeing. This is a re-edition to my collection. This is The Grey. And who else is in this? I remember the cast being fairly decent. Frank Grillo, Dermot Mulroney, Dallas Roberts, Joe Anderson, and James Badge Dale, I think is what that says. The type is really small. But there you go. That is The Grey. And that is the last of my pickups for July 2021. Stay tuned to the Movie Assault channel for more videos. As always, feel free to hit the thumbs up on this one and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on any of the movies I picked up this month, whether you've seen them, whether you want to see them. What did you pick up this month? Thanks for subscribing, everybody. There you go. Take it easy.